free show. I'm going to make sure our audio's up. Well.
Let's make sure.
Let's see.
I'm checking all the audio now.
Testing.
Okay.
Do we got it?
I think we're good.
How about that? Look at that.
Wow.
They can hear us. That being said, there you are. You're on the screen.
Hi.
Look at that shot.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. And you might be saying, Tepper, you look different. Have you lost weight? And the answer is no. We're broadcasting from a different location. We talked about this, that our office is presently under construction. Did you see the pictures?
Yes, and like when we mean construction, we mean like we're in mid-demolition right now with a lot of different things, either building walls or tearing them down, and it looks like a chaotic mess in there,
and so
which rocks.
We knew this was coming. We knew Pickle, and I got together with Pickle, and I said, okay, well, we got to come up with a plan because I don't want to go dark for we're going to be out of the office for 5 weeks, and we don't want to go dark for 5 weeks. And so we started coming up with plans like, okay, do we just do live to tape? Do we just do audio only?
Do we do the remote where I'm in one location and you're the other, which was the thing during COVID, which if you remember, it was like this week in Crude.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought that was borderline unlaunchable. And so then I just kind of joked. I'm like, we could come over to your house and do it. And then you looked at me through the phone and said,
hell yeah, brother.
So here we are at Pickle's house in an undisclosed location here at Pickle's, the Pickle Palace. But you would think that it would be quieter around here than it would in a busy office. Mm-hmm. But you have a roommate.
I do. And
we've actually employed your roommate for this while we're going to be here. Let's go to our chief living room correspondent, Mallory Hartley. Mallory, do you read me?
I do. How's it going?
What's going on, Mallory?
I'm having some pickle chips.
Spicy
pickle chips.
So this is just what
drinking some Dr. Pepper on the couch.
And this is a pretty normal, we're not interrupting you is what you're
kind of interrupting me a little bit. I mean, because typically when y'all are doing Texas Football Today, I'm sitting at my desk eating lunch by myself, and I put my headphones on, and typically I'll watch Gossip Girl or whatever show I'm watching at the time, and I kind of just shut everybody out. So, yeah, you kind of are in my space right now.
Okay, so, but it does appear that we're not preventing you from lunch.
Yeah.
That's
typical lunch for me, so, right? This is my typical lunch. I don't really eat lunch.
Her typical lunch is goldfish. She only ever eats goldfish. I'm like, you have to eat something more than goldfish.
Hey, let me know at any point in the show you want more pickle chips, and I'll bring them over to you.
Okay. So that's...
Yeah, we actually get to have lunch now. Well, not really.
I have to drive home to eat lunch.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm gonna be stuck here for the next 5 weeks or so. We're gonna be broadcasting here. We will have Mallory dropping in anytime we need a report from the living room. But for now, we're here in, what is it? This is your dining room?
Yeah, it's our dining room.
This is the dining room.
Where we will not be dining.
We won't be dining.
Because there's a studio.
Yeah, we've turned the dining room into a studio to bring you Texas Football Today. And I do have to say, I like what you've done with the place. This is true. I've never been here.
Yeah, we invited you to the housewarming party, I think, but you said no.
Yeah, I want to say I had a better offer.
That's fair.
I'm not sure. No, we did get invited. You did invite the whole family to the housewarming, but I think we were out of town or something or something. But no, we've never been here. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Hang on.
Couch.
Well, let's go back. Well, Mallory, what was that?
Smells good, right?
It does smell good. It smells like.
Just getting all this on camera.
There's just a lot of fragrances going on. I already complimented you guys on your hand soap. Your hand soap smells really good.
Thank you. I'm proud of that hand soap.
But it's also, here's the other thing, and I mean this as a real compliment.
I turned off your mic as you hack up a lung over there.
I mean this is a real compliment. It's clean in here.
Yeah.
It's clean in here.
We're
I don't know.
people.
I don't quite know if I expected that. But it's pretty clean. Now to be clear, I have not been upstairs, and I won't go upstairs.
It is also clean upstairs. Well,
upstairs is where
it's very immaculate.
The bedrooms are upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the bedrooms, and then we have our office upstairs,
Okay.
which is our desks are very clean and
Mm-hmm.
orderly. It's also wedding storage.
Okay.
So it's organized, but there are boxes, lots of boxes of stuff.
Got it. Okay. I don't see any reason for me to go upstairs ever.
Getting Mallory coughing on
Okay,
air here.
fabulous. But anyway, I don't see any reason for me to go upstairs. This feels like
No.
kitchen. Got the living room if I need to go check in on Mallory and see how the coughing's going.
Yeah.
So
Trust me, you will always know how the coughing's
I
going
will,
at any
I will.
point in this house.
Pickle. What's the problem? Are you sick?
No.
How sure are you?
Honestly, that one was a spicy
we're about
pickle
to share
chip.
a house for 5 weeks.
That was a spicy
No,
pickle
that
chip.
was a spicy pickle chip. I have been sick. I think I had a cold or something, but I feel
This
much
is going.
better.
I'm so glad I'm here.
I feel much better. I
had 2 kids
she
at
can
home, and
confirm
I'm
my
gonna get
coughing
sick from
isn't
coming
nearly
over
as
here.
bad as it was.
I've been around her for 2 weeks when she's been hacking up lungs, and I'm doing okay. Knock on wood. So,
That's funny.
I think. Welcome to the party, folks. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle.
my
Hit the
ears
air
are just
sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Bachelorette Pad in undisclosed location, it is Texas Football Today, a show that, like life, finds a way. My name is Greg Teffer. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, or you'll also listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today. And by over there at the helm today, I mean literally right here. She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's Ashley Pickle. We're going to high five.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
We can do that. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Bachelorette Pad.
I think this is the closest we've ever sat while doing a show.
Yeah, we're a mere, maybe 2.5 feet from each other.
Yeah.
But the magic of television.
The magic of television.
You would never know that.
No, you
you
wouldn't.
really wouldn't know.
Do we want to introduce a third member of our team?
Yeah, not sitting.
Let's go.
Amir.
The third member of our team. She is, for the time being, our chief living room correspondent. We go live to Mallory Hartley. Mallory, do you read me?
I do.
Yeah,
I'm not close enough to where I can high five you, but I
No,
can
you're
air
not.
five you.
Yeah, you're over there. Hi,
I
Mel.
can air five.
How's
Hello,
the weather
everybody.
over there?
Good to be. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
Pretty
good.
nice.
Are you just
Little bit of a draft.
You just gonna be over there working?
Huh?
You just gonna be over there working?
Probably.
Okay.
I got some emails to answer. So. Yeah.
It's gonna be like that, folks. If you missed it, we are presently displaced because of construction in our office, and so we're gonna be displaced. We're gonna be broadcasting from the Bachelorette Pad for the next 5 weeks or so. So get used to this. Today is Tuesday.
And if you don't want to get used to it, then that stings for you.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. Today is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, 275 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Josh Groban.
Oh, okay.
Josh Groban, Andy's brother on The Office.
Yeah.
People forget that. He was Andy's brother on The Office. He's the really good singer that shows up. It's very good. Yeah. You remember? Well, it's
Yeah.
Mallory, you remember? You're our
I do
Office
remember him.
aficionado. Are you going to be watching The Office? You could be watching The Office while as our chief.
I'm gonna grab the remote real quick.
Okay.
Let's see if it's on here.
It's going to be fun.
We'll see.
It's episode 1,700. On today's show, folks.
37.
Nailed it. On today's show, folks, we got headlines from across the state, including let's talk about court.
Yeah.
Talk about that with the NCAA. And then back half of the show, you can move us all around, but I can check my watch, and I know it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
The inaugural Math Tuesday from the Bachelorette Pad. We will discuss the most improved Texas high school football offenses in 2023. We will get into that coming up here at the back half of the program if you stick along with us. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was jersey number 69,
nice.
Daniel Agnew, Joey Hill, and Ace. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us here in our new digs.
Bachelorette Pad.
Yeah, it is. It is nice. It is nice. You also have, how many coffee makers do you have?
2.
Those are the only 2?
Yeah, those are the only 2. So I brought one. She had an espresso machine, which are 2 different. So mine's like normal coffee pot. Hers is fancy coffee.
You've got like a whole setup here with coffee and other beverages here. So it's
not coffee. Coffee and not coffee.
Coffee and not coffee. Those are your 2 options.
We have our morning drinks and our evening drinks, if you will.
Yes, you can have coffee or not coffee. Those are that's what's on the menu.
That's actually the only liquids in this house. So enjoy.
Yeah, I turn on. I washed my hands. It's booze. That's why my hands smell so good.
Efficient.
Let's get into some headlines from across the state of Texas. And there was some big breaking news this morning broken by our own Mike Craven on the college football front. And that is that Texas State has added another quarterback. Now, okay, let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about the whole saga of quarterbacks at Texas State.
Yes.
Right? They add Jaden DeLora, the transfer from Arizona. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of a ruckus about Jaden DeLora joining because of some past allegations against him. Mm-hmm. In the interim, TJ Finley, who was the starter for Texas State, enters the transfer portal, ends up transferring to Western Kentucky. Jaden DeLora, they then decide, you know what, this ain't going to work for us. And they decide to part ways. I don't know. I don't think it was like a cutting situation. I think it was more of like a mutually agreed upon, this is not working for us.
Yes. So
Texas State was then looking for a quarterback. Well, I would say that they landed on their feet. Texas State has landed a commitment from James Madison quarterback Jordan McLeod. Jordan McLeod is actually a former Arizona quarterback himself, 2021, 2022, before he transferred to, and before that he was at South Florida. Then he went to James Madison, and last year James Madison led them to an 11-1 record. They went number 24 in the AP poll. Was very, very good. He is the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year.
Yep.
He was all Sun Belt first team last year, and he's going to transfer from James Madison to Texas State. This is a very big get for Texas State. What looked like it may be a disaster forming for G.J. Kinney. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've pulled this out of the fire.
Well, and not only is it just from a quarterback perspective, too, but just from a state of the program perspective, to have that much attention on every minute detail that you were doing and it being such a key role, just now having it smoothed out, and not only smoothed out, but to get a legitimately good quarterback is a huge goal to pull yourself out of.
The conference player of the year.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
To get him is huge, huge. And now, look, we can certainly have an argument as to whether or not Texas State is better off now than when they were at the very end of last year, as far as the quarterback is concerned. Like, would it be better to have TJ Finley versus having Jordan McLeod? Certainly, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Because while Jordan McLeod was the Sun Belt Player of the Year, TJ Finley, familiar with the scheme, understood the offense, etc. All that is to say, considering what happened since the end of the season to now,
yeah, context is a must on this.
In the context, I would say that this is a pretty decent landing spot for Texas State.
And honestly, you really never know what's better until you get the second guy out there on the field. Like,
yes.
we can speculate that now. That's just a waste of time because we'll see how he does the first couple of games.
We are, that is something to keep an eye on. You can read all about it on TexasFootball.com. Mike Craven broke this on TexasFootball.com. Jordan McLeod will be presumably the starting quarterback for Texas State in 2024. Let's talk a little bit about, we talked about court. Let's go back to last week. Mm-hmm. This does not have anything to do directly with the state of Texas, but it has to do with college football and the college football landscape, and I think it's worth talking about. There was a ruling from a federal judge in Tennessee about a situation between the NCAA and the University of Tennessee. I'll back it up, and I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can because I'm not a legal scholar. The NCAA is going after Tennessee for NIL violations after the fact and saying like, oh no, you guys broke some rules, you guys acted improperly with name, image, and likeness and used that improperly for recruiting purposes, et cetera, et cetera.
Do we even know the rules of NIL?
That's dumb to begin with, but the NCAA hasn't done a smart thing in a minute.
Yeah.
So Tennessee basically like sues the NCAA and says, no, you're not coming after us. We're going to take this thing to court.
Yeah, you didn't have any rules in the first place.
A federal judge in Tennessee has granted a preliminary injunction that prohibits the NCAA from punishing athletes or boosters for negotiating NIL deals during their recruiting process or while they're in the transfer portal. That's the headline here. Now, why is this important? And I did a bunch of reading on this to understand it because it was one of those things where this thing came down and a lot of smart people that I know and a lot of smart people that I follow on Twitter started going, oh, man, this is a huge deal. And I'm like, why? Yeah. Someone explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yeah.
So I went and read up on it. Here's the baseline for it. You have to view this as the next step in what started with NCAA versus Alston.
Yes.
If you remember NCAA versus Alston, which I believe was 2021? Sounds right, 2021. Mm-hmm. That was the initial time in the when the NCAA went in front of the Supreme Court and lost 9-0.
Yeah. That
basically opened the door for NIL, saying, no, you can't restrict like their earning potential. Mm-hmm. Like that's not cool. And it opened up the door for NIL. Mm-hmm. It was a 9-0 ruling by the Supreme Court, which is wild in 2021. At that point, what we talked about was not just the ruling, which was narrow. The Supreme Court answers questions that you ask it. They don't make broad judgments. But if you read between the lines, and I believe it was Brett Kavanaugh, the justice, who wrote the opinion, who was more or less signaling, hey, if you bring us the head of amateurism, we will lop it off. Mm-hmm. We will end this student-athlete charade once and for all if you ask us that question.
Right.
The reason this is a big deal is because this is another federal judge who is taking that next step towards functionally ending amateurism and ending the way that it happens. This is a huge deal and could continue to open up the door for kind of the NCAA to lose even more control.
Well, and I might be ignorant and not knowing this, but this has got to be, since the original ruling in 2021, mm-hmm. or the original case, this has to be the first time that NIL has been challenged in its current state, considering, yes, they allowed it, but there hasn't been any rules put in place to a real regimented degree until this might actually help, I think, more in just shaping the pathway for it.
And I want to be clear because this is important and in law details are important. It's not the University of Tennessee that is doing this. It mm-hmm. is the Tennessee and Virginia attorneys general who are going after the NCAA. Their argument that the NCAA is illegally restricting opportunities for student athletes.
So basically they turned what would have been a suing of an athletic department into a state.
They were like, no, like issue. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
And so the NCAA kind of stepped in a bear trap here, and now it is on very shaky ground.
And now Virginia's involved, and you never get in Virginia.
No, don't get Virginia involved. So big doings there. That's something to keep an eye on with kind of the state of college football and what college football could look like in the future. Speaking of college football in the future, there was a report out last week, I believe from Pete Thamel and Heather Dinich of ESPN, who made the argument that, or who went out there, and apparently there was a meeting, the College Football Playoff Committee. They were here in Dallas. And during the meeting, there were discussions of expanding the playoff to 14 teams. I want to be very clear. We haven't had a 12-team playoff yet.
Why? What is the point?
They are discussing the idea of a 14-team playoff and expanding it, hi Ava, expanding it from 12 teams to 14 teams. Hi. This is inevitably, whatever. This is kind of the inevitable, go of it. And I think these two things are pretty closely tied, the two stories we've just done. Because ultimately college football is going to be changing in a big way. We've already talked about the consolidation of power of the two big conferences, right? The Big Ten and the SEC. Mm-hmm. The playoff is not affiliated with the NCAA. It is independent. And you could see a real situation in which those two conferences say, we're going to take our ball and go play by our own rules. We're going to create our own league. So it is not a surprise to see the playoff committee already talking about expansion. Where will it end up landing? Who knows? But
even with those conversations, though, there's no way that gets anywhere close to done for this first round. We'll definitely have a round of 12, mainly because they're talking about and facility sites are already predetermined.
They were talking about it would be 2026, which is crazy because that would mean you have 1 year of 12 and then you change it again. But I digress. A couple of high school notes in the coaching ranks. One of them is that New Braunfels has found their new head coach. It is Brad Mulder. Brad Mulder is leaving Lavernia to become the next head coach at New Braunfels. He's replacing Glenn Mangold, who retired from public school education and took over as the head coach of San Antonio Central Catholic. Coach Mulder is going to take over at New Braunfels High School, taking over after a couple of really good years at Lavernia, where they went 19-6. Also, Granger is open. Granger is open as Stephen Brosh, their head coach, has been promoted to principal. He's going to become the principal of Granger IC. A very small school thing to do.
Yes.
Is to be like, I'm going to go from football coach to principal.
Yeah.
But that is
have my nights off, basically, is what that kind of
Stephen Brosh was a 40 under 40 guy in Dave Campbell's Texas Football in the 2023 Summer Magazine. This is a really intriguing opening there in Granger because I think you can win. This is a program that has been on the rise past couple of years. He spent the last 4 years there, has put together a 40-10 mark. So Granger is open. Keep an eye on that. You can find all the coaching changes and all the latest news on TexasFootball.com. We are at Texas Football Today. We're here in the Bachelorette Pad every weekday at noon, TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Also on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Something exciting for tomorrow. I know you guys love the Bachelorette Pad already.
Correct.
Texas Football Today will not be coming from the Bachelorette Pad tomorrow. Instead, we are giving way to our friend Greg Powers, who is going to be up in Gunner for the live commitment of star safety Colin Peacock from Gunner. He is going to be committing. He's a DCTF 3-star. He's got a bevy of big-time offers. He will be committing live on TexasFootball.com tomorrow. I believe 12:10 is the time. So we're making way for them, so you can tune in to see where Colin Peacock will play his next few years of college football. He will commit live on our air tomorrow, 12:10 p.m. On TexasFootball.com and wherever you're watching this show right now. Coming up here in just a moment, Math Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Most improved offenses in Texas high school football. But first, a word from these goods and services.
I feel like bustin' loose. Bustin' loose. Come on. Get on up. Oh, yeah. Get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Back here on Texas Football Today. Let's check in real quick with our chief living room correspondent, Mallory Hartley. Mallory, what's going on in the living room?
I'm just kind of hanging out here, trying to get Ava to come over here because she's currently trying to get in your shot.
Ava is sitting right here. Ava the cat.
We do have a cat. She typically likes to sit on the couch with me. I have this blanket.
She's stretching.
She likes to lay on the blanket
there
with
she
me.
Goes.
But
okay, thanks, Mallory. Thanks for that brave report.
You're welcome.
And now, speaking of brave, it's time for Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, where we take a dive inside the numbers. Hi, Ava. Please don't stand on the soundboard. That would be bad.
Yeah.
We take a look at inside the numbers of Texas high school football. Last week, we talked about the most improved Texas high school football teams from 2022 to 2023, and then also from 2021 to 2022, as the cat tries to ruin the show.
Ava, do not.
First, oh my gosh, please do it.
No.
Oh my gosh, you just knocked the cat off the table.
Well, she needs to not completely tank this
Rude.
camera. This is an expensive camera. It's not our cheap camera.
Rude. So I want to dive a little deeper, and let's talk a little bit about offenses. We're going to talk about the offenses and the most improved offenses in Texas high school football this past year in 2023. Now, I want to be clear because I had somebody in my menchies last week when we did the thing about the most improved is like, inevitably, there are going to be a bunch of teams who are kind of ineligible for this list.
Yeah.
Right? Mart was never making the most improved offense list.
No.
Because they led the state in 11-man offense last year. And if they had been the most improved, they'd be scoring like 78 points a game.
Right.
Not going to happen.
And most people would be a lot happier with consistency than improvement.
Yeah. This is like, it's one of those things where
good consistency.
It's a strange list to put together because there is a little backhanded compliment would be like, you guys were not good. And now, look at you.
But,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, things are going well.
But obviously, you're talking about taking steps forward. And that's what we're going to take a look at. And so we're going to break it down a couple of different ways. This is also a place where, in my opinion, and certainly reasonable people can disagree, 11-man and 6-man have to diverge. Wins are wins. Mm-hmm. Winning games is winning games is winning games. But as far as offense is concerned and defense is concerned, 6-man football is higher scoring on average than 11-man football. Mm-hmm. And so to me, you have to separate these two and view them in their own dynamic, right? So let's start with the 11-man, and from 2022 to 2023, took a look at points per game, the most improved offenses in Texas high school football in 2023. And maybe a small surprise here at the top, as the most improved offense in Texas high school football in 2023, the Groover Greyhounds. Groover made a huge leap, 23.3 points per game more. Think about that. More than 3 more touchdowns per game.
That's insane.
Last year. And by the way, they weren't terrible in 2022. 19.4. It's probably, it's in the fat part of the bell curve.
But if you have a good defense, you can win games like that.
Absolutely. But they made a huge leap. Right behind them was Sweeney. Sweeney went from poor, I would say, 10.5 points per game in 2022, all the way up to 33.7, which is a strong offense, improved by 23 points. Needville makes a big leap. Anderson Shiro as well. Frisco Reedy is the first big school there. As far as a 5A program, made a big leap, 19.8. Same with Graham. Graham was significantly better.
Which is crazy because we talked about the Graham offense so much. Like every year I feel like we talk about good Graham offenses.
Well, I want you to look at the numbers there. They have on this list, they were the highest scoring team on this list in 2022. But they still made a 20-point improvement nearly to nearly 47 points per game. Pflugerville Conley made a big leap. Electra really got things in gear. And you want to talk about going from like a poor offense to suddenly being like strong,
Right.
26 points per game. You can win with 26 points per game. George Ranch and Sweetwater round out the top 10 in 11-man football as far as the most improved offenses. Let's take a look now at the 6-man offenses. The 6-man offenses are going to be different. You'll see the numbers are very different here. The most improved offense, Verabest, the Falcons, improved by 32.7 points per game. Okay? 32.7 points per game. Again, to put that in perspective, you're talking about 4 plus more touchdowns per
Honestly,
game.
even like 5 scores because even a field goal wouldn't get you to 32.
If you get an extra point, if you add in the extra point, right, if you're kicking it, then you can get 8 points per possession. You're talking about 4 more touchdowns per game. It's incredible. Marfa was excellent as well, made a huge leap. Wilson got out of the basement and really picked things up offensively. Copperell, Kroll, our friend Mitchell Parsley, really got things going all the way up to 53.9 points per game. Harold, Goldberg, Mount Calm all made big leaps. Sands out of Ackerley made a big leap, 18.7 points per game up. So did Trinidad, making the big leap from 2022 to 2023. So those were, from the 11-man or 6-man perspective, the most improved offense for 2022-2023. But I wanted to do the same thing that we did with the wins perspective, which is I want to take a look zooming out and talk about over the last couple of years how much these offenses have improved from 2021. Again, because you could just have one big, I don't want to say flash in the pan, but you get one fantastic playmaker and your offense spikes for a year, but then you're right back.
Or your defense could be really, really bad, and it's on your offense to be out on the field the whole time.
Absolutely.
That could also happen.
So let's take a look from 2021 to 2023, the most improved 11-man offenses in Texas high school football. And they're the top, Galveston Ball. Now, Galveston Ball is an interesting case because they were in my opinion, a pretty manageable district. However, to go from 17.5 points per game to 56.2, to go from one of the most average offenses to nearly 57 points a game is crazy. And they lap the field. You see the gap between them and Overton in second place, who, again, made a huge leap. And we talked about them when we were talking about our wins, like the most improved offenses. They were winless a couple of years ago and then won 10 games this past year.
33 more points a game will do that for you.
Tahoka made a huge leap, 30 more points per game. You see the DJ Lagway effect in Willis. They go from 25 points a game to 54 points a game. Honeygrove made a huge leap as well. Amarillo Highland Park on the rise, nearly more than 29 points per game. Anderson Shiro, you see them, it carries over. They made a good improvement from 2021 to 2022, and then a massive leap in 2023. Weimer, kind of the same thing, big leap in 2022, another big leap in 23. Dallas Conrad, a really big winner here, from 8.4 points per game all the way up to 35.5.
Yeah.
Really impressive what Conrad's been able to do. And Centerpoint making that leap as well, up 27 points per game since 2021. Let's take a look now at the 6-man and the most improved offenses in 6-man. You're going to see a couple of familiar names here. Copperell makes the biggest leap from 7.3 points per game in 2021. Again, a modest improvement in 2022, and then a huge leap in 2023, up to 43 points per game. Really impressive. Iredell, the Dragons, they're at in second, up 34.5 points per game. Trinidad, we talked about them with the year-over-year. They again made I think you're seeing a trend here, like a modest leap and then a big leap. Same thing with Verabest. They barely improved from 2021 to 2022. That's almost all what they did this past year. Herald goes from averaging 1 point per game to 33.5 points per game. A huge leap for the Hornets. Robert Lee, Petersburg, Aquila, Milford, and Bryson round out the top 10 most improved offenses in six-man football over the past 2 seasons. Again, what I would characterize this as is, whereas the first time we went through this with just the 2022 versus 2023, I would characterize that as you had a really nice year, and some things changed, and things are obviously going well. With these, the teams that over the past 2 years have made that big of leap, I would say the trend line and looking at the way the trajectory of these programs, especially offensively, are going, I think that is really where it takes off here.
That's an offensive switch rather than one individual player. Now, obviously, one individual player can still have that lasting effect on it, but I think it shows more than just one person. A little bit different in the 6-man ranks, but at least with the 11-man ranks, more than one person has to be operating.
Yes.
DJ Lagway wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't have receivers that could catch the ball.
100%. Absolutely agree. So there you go. A look at the most improved offenses in Texas high school football. You're never going to believe this, but next week on Math Tuesday, I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Math Tuesday.
Let's go over to Ava and Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
Yeah, what y'all can't see is she is dead asleep on my lap right now. Okay, so show today, done, check.
Check, put it in the win column.
Show tomorrow. It will be starting a little bit later, 12:10. Greg Powers live from Gunner High School for the commitment of Colin Peacock, the outstanding safety out there for the Tigers. So check in at that. And then no show Thursday and Friday. We have girls state basketball to attend to, which there will be one other person with me at that point.
Yeah, let's check in one more time in the living room and see how things are going. Let's go to our chief living room correspondent, Mallory Hartley. Mallory, how are we holding up? How do you think today went?
Really good. I'm watching the show right now, so
Okay.
I'm a little behind.
Okay. Yeah.
But really, can I tell you guys how I really feel?
Yeah.
Right
please.
now.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for y'all to get done so I can make some lunch. I'm hungry.
Let's not keep her waiting.
She's not used to not being able to eat lunch at a normal time like us.
Yeah.
No, I want some ramen. So.
Is that what you're gonna make? You're gonna make ramen?
Yeah, I make it special though. I put like an egg in it, put some garlic, salt. It's different. Don't worry about it.
That doesn't seem special. I'm gonna be honest.
That seems like legitimate ramen
That
rather
seems like
than
ramen.
just the store-bought noodles.
Then I put some butter in it too.
So
good.
Mallory, the next time we'll be doing a show here, I think is going to be Monday. Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll be doing a show Monday. Are you going to be able to join us as our chief living room correspondent?
I'll think about it. Depends.
Good enough for me. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Mallory, Hartley, Ashley Pickle, and Ava, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow, live from Gunner for Colin Peacock's commitment on Texas Football Today.
We'll be right back.